Hello, everybody, and welcome to Anyhow, Anyway by Summer England. I'm your podcast host, Summer England, and we talk about all things writing, bookish, cozy, chaotic, smutty, and everything in between. You might know me from Instagram or TikTok, where I talk about all those things, or you might not know me at all. And if you don't, that's on you. I jest. Okay, everybody. Huge news. My edits are in. Yes, that's right. My edits for my manuscript are in. This is my second round of edits. I'm sure I'll have a third. Maybe I'll have a fourth. I don't know. But for right now, I'm going to do the thing and celebrate, because everything with writing feels like short-lived celebrations, because you submit the thing and then it's like, okay, great. This means nothing at all, because you're going to have hours and hours and hours and days of work after this. But for right now, I'm in the celebratory stage. Okay. It's like that moment where the hero protagonist realizes that they have magic, and for that day, because they don't know how to use the magic yet, they just chill out. They're like, I'm actually going to sit with this. I'm going to sit that I have magic. Maybe somebody's panicking, but in this story right now that we're telling right now, the hero's actually really excited that they have magic. And then they can start training. They can figure that out at another date. But for that day is for celebration. That's day for thrifting, for getting sugary little treats and rewarding yourself. I am so happy that those are submitted. And just like the first round of edits that I got with the manuscript with my editor, the first several days were just me slogging away and thinking to myself, who wrote this? Why did I do that? Who thought that this was a good idea? Why did anyone buy this book? And near the end of it, after I crashed out and came back into my body and stopped crying in the shower, I actually had a really great time. Honestly, editing a book sometimes to me feels a lot like being pregnant and giving birth, because I love my child, but I would rather do a lot of things than ever be pregnant again. And then there was the birth part, but then when he was born, I was like, that wasn't so bad. That's how I feel about edits, you know? And a book is such a fascinating experience because you spend so much time getting the draft ready. And then you go through and you edit the draft. Everybody has a different editing and drafting situation, but you're going to edit your draft, right? In at least from just a grammatical standpoint, you edit that a ton. Then you have your agent, and you all will go back and forth together. And then you submit it. And then it might go through more edits and more edits and more edits. And then suddenly your initial draft to what your book becomes are such different things. Wild. Or maybe they're not. Maybe you're one of those writers that as soon as it's on the page, it's perfect. It's done. I remember listening to a podcast with Travis Baldree, and he was like, oh, I have really professional drafts. Like once it's submitted to an editor, it's kind of done. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm a debut author though. Maybe that'll happen in my future. We'll see. But I'm so excited. Those puppies are done. I have been pounding the pavement on my walking pad in my office. I was getting up. This was my routine this week, because this week I knew it was editing week. All right. It's nose to the grindstone. Announcements are coming soon. Things need to go to places for final things and such. I would wake up at 5:30, do my Pilates, get my oatmeal in, do some cozy activity to get my mind and my body aligned and my spirit ready. And then I'm hitting that walking pad, baby. Okay. Wow. I got 20,000 steps a day all week. I was having to do calf stretches. My second toe on my foot was starting to cramp. It was really dire there for a second, but we figured it out. Okay. So now that edits are done, I feel like I can really lean in to some exciting news, which is I checked my weather app, and in the very small region that I live in, we're going to be dropping into the low 70s soon. Our lows are going to be in the 50s. You know what that tells me? It's time. Correct. The season approaches. Also, birthday season for Virgos approach and other horoscopes. I didn't just say Virgo because I'm a Virgo, but autumn is coming. And because of that, I have created something for you all that I think is really important. And that is a Cozy Girls gift guide to fall. Yeah, that's right. Me, I'm going to tell you what you want for fall. Because here's a conundrum, is that once July and August rolls around, my friends are very on top of it. And they're always checking 2 months out for my birthday. What do I want? What do you want? What do you want for your birthday? Summer, what do you want for your birthday? Blah, 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 blah. These questions haunt me because I don't know. I don't know. It's not that I don't want things. It's that when I'm presented with the question, all of the things that I've ever wanted in my life have suddenly left my brain. I don't know. I don't know. What do you want me to say? You want me to, I don't know. I can't even have cake. I have celiac disease and I'm allergic to dairy, soy, and almonds, peanut, all of these different things. I can't even have that. You can't even make me gooey, yummy cake. So I've taken it upon myself to create a gift guide. So if you're a cozy girl whose birthday is in the fall, or you're somebody, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a friend, and you have friends in the fall who like cozy little activities, but you don't know what to get them, and they're one of those friends that you could give them anything and they're going to put on a sweet, sweet face, but then they're going to drop it off at the thrift store later. What? That's not me. I don't do that a lot. Then I have created a guide for you, okay? You are welcome again for me telling you what you want or what your partner / friend wants. Let's get into this. Let's get into the Cozy Girls gift guide to fall. First, we're going to start with things, okay? A watercolor palette. Does your cozy girl, you or your friend, what have you, like a hobby, like a little arts and crafts, like to paint? May I suggest a watercolor palette? And may I tell you, please don't get this watercolor palette from Walmart. They are chalky and disgusting. It's an embarrassing amount. I would go, if you can, to a small business online, a little Etsy shop, perhaps, a little Instagram situation, because there's really cute autumnal themed and colored watercolor palettes, and they're minimalistic. They come in a cute little case, so it's not too much, right? Because a lot of times us cozy girls can get a little bit of decision fatigue. What am I supposed to do with all of these colors? Do I mix them together? Do I just use what? Especially if it's like a startup hobby. A watercolor palette, okay? Preferably small business. Get some brushes, get a little watercolor sketchbook. Make sure it's watercolor. Don't get multi. Don't be trusting the multi-use paper. Absolutely not. I'm saying watercolor simply because I watercolor. I'm sure if you got oil paints or acrylics, that could be as useful. But here's my stake for watercolor. And why I think it's a little bit better is because they last for so long. And it's not necessarily an art that's about perfection as it is about the vibes of watercolor. And I just think it's inherently cozy. I do. You can travel with it a lot easier. And it's very fun to play with water. It just is, okay? Second, noise canceling headphones or earbuds. All right? I suggest Quiet Comfort by Bose. I will put the link to my Shop My in my show notes just for easy access. I bought those with my own money. I cannot recommend to you enough some type for a cozy girl for autumn noise canceling situation. If somebody gifted me noise canceling earbuds / headphones that were vetted by an autistic person, i.e. me, I would marry them. Do you want my children? I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. How many children do you want for my body? It doesn't matter if we're platonic friends, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What do you want from me? Because thank you. Thank you for saving me. All right? I also got mine in lilac. I got the Quiet Comfort. And to just let you know how good these are is that I have severe plane anxiety. It never has gotten better. I dread it. I love traveling, but the thought of getting on a plane genuinely takes away like 80% of the excitement going to there. Once I'm there, I'm happier, but then like a few days in, I'm thinking to myself, I'm about to have to get on a plane. Why are we so high up in the air? Can somebody riddle me that? Why are we so high up in the air and nobody can like super tell us how that's happening? I'm not buying it. We're out here with 2 metal flaps and some fire. No. No, it's making a lot of noises, and that's the worst part for me. That is the worst part. All of the noises, all of the shifting of the gears. Oh my gosh. And I know everybody always thinks that they have a cure for plain anxiety. Everybody's like, you just need to let go of control. You don't think I know that? You don't think I'm aware that it's probably about control? Sure. But I'm also aware I am up in the air and can see the Earth's curvature, and I don't think that's right. I was given 2 legs to walk on this Earth. I don't want to go on deep down the ocean. Okay, I don't want to go wave hello to James Cameron, and I don't want to wave hello to the aliens. I would like to stay on my own 2 feet. My only exception is that I'm a horse girl, no horse. I would be willing to ride a horse places, and I realize that that's a huge brain in between my legs. You know what I'm saying? But I would do it. The only thing that helps me are noise canceling headphones. I do mean it. And I've had different iterations of them before, and these Quiet Comfort earbuds are genuine lifesaver. Again, I paid for these with my own money. 100% recommend, either for you or the cozy girl you know. Third, print fresh pajamas, because nothing is cozier than a matching set of maybe luxurious PJs, okay? Are they high-end-ish, as high-end as you can go? Sure. Is it a little bit unnecessary to have a matching PJ set that is that expensive? 100%. But if you want to splurge a little bit for yourself or for your friend or what have you, may I suggest those, especially once autumn rolls around, because they're going to have their autumnal matching sets. Oh my gosh. Let me just tell you something right now. If matching set PJs were a person, we would be married. I only wear matching PJs at night because I do value a nighttime routine, okay? Because I'm about to go to sleepy land. I'm about to spend, half of our life is asleep. I have to look cozy. I do. I have so many matching pairs of PJs, you don't understand. So, for a little splurge, we're looking at print fresh pajamas. Now into books, because duh. Okay? And the first 2 are actually cookbooks, and these are going to be in ascending price ranges. So first, thrift books, or any type of thrift.com, what have you. If your cozy girl loves vintage or 90s or what have you. Gooseberry Patch recipe books with a little spiral spine and the gingham front and the illustrations. There's so many different volumes of this. Are 1, great prices on thrift books. 2, the perfect addition to a cozy girl kitchen. Oh my gosh. Even if your cozy girl doesn't like to cook, but she likes recipe books or likes art or anything like that, these are precious, precious, precious. It's absolutely a flashback. I love them. I just thrifted 3 of them from thrift books, and they were only like $20 for 3 of them. They are very good prices on thrift books. So with all of these, all of the books, thrift books is so nice to go to because you can get a new book from there for a really good price. So 1, vintage cookbooks. 2, Wishbone Kitchen Cookbook for Everyday Luxurious Meals by Meredith Hayden. Meredith Hayden is a girl's girl, okay? She is our millennial Martha Stewart or Gen Z. I don't know. I think she and I were born very similar years, like 96, 97. And people cannot tell me straight if that means that I'm a cusp or I'm a Gen Z or I'm a millennial or I'm a young. I don't know. I relate the most to millennials simply because I have no idea, actually. I think we're all just trying our best. Okay? You know what I'm saying? So, the Wishbone Kitchen Cookbook by Meredith Hayden. It's very fun. Again, we've got some great watercolor illustrations in there. All right? Get cookbooks with cute art. Get cookbooks with good vibes. Third, and this I say is a bookish hack for yourself or for your friend, for your partner. Sometimes it is a shot in the dark to get a bookish girl a book. You don't know what she's read. You don't know what's on that Kindle, okay? And that can be pretty difficult. That can be difficult to navigate. You might know her vibe, but then you might get a fantasy book that has all of the tropes that you think that she likes, and it ends up just not flying, and then it just rots on her bookshelf forever until she donates it to thrift books. May I suggest getting her a special edition of a physical copy of a book that she loves that she does not have? Maybe it's on her e-reader, or an absolutely torn to shreds paperback copy of a book that she loves, okay? And you can vie. What are your top 3 favorite books? Oh, do you have physical? You know what I mean? You maybe have to be sneaky about it. For example, I would take any special edition of Tress of the Emerald Sea because I listened to that on audiobook, and it's one of my favorite books of all time. I do not have the hardback, and they're very expensive, or they're more expensive than I'm willing to spend on a book that I've already read. But if someone gifted those to me, hello, thank you very much. If she's a classics girl, if she's big into Little Women, Pride and Prejudice, Amy Jane Austen stuff, there are countless numbers of special editions of those that are very, very fun. And again, take this with a grain, because some people don't want multiple editions. But if you know you're a cozy girl and she loves a bookshelf, she loves physical copies of the books that she loves. Okay, if she's like me, okay, I love to have the physical things of the things that I love. I know, hot take. This is a hack, I would say. Getting bookish girls new books can sometimes be a little bit scary. It truly is. To me, it's like when I gift somebody yarn who I know is an advanced fiber artist. I'm like, so what have I done wrong? What have I done wrong? What is the color makeup of this? Are you not going to be able to swatch it? I know that I should have just given you $20 to get a skein for yourself, but I wanted to try. Because I don't know their projects. I don't know their deal. Now we're into experiences. And these are all themed, duh. Apple picking, okay? But specifically, these are experiences paired with other things. It's not just one thing. You have to have a package. That's my big thing with Cozy Girl Autumn, any type of gift giving at all, is that it needs to come in a little package, okay? Apple picking paired with a cozy evening activity that features the apples that you picked, okay? So maybe you go out in the morning, the early afternoon, you pick your apples. You have already chosen the recipe that you two are going to do together. Maybe it's apple butter. Nothing too involved, because apple picking, you don't want to stress yourselves out, okay? You don't want to stress yourselves out. Making apple butter, making some apple sauce, making some little apple tarts. Maybe you don't go full apple pie mode. Maybe that's for the next day, but you can do a little tart, right? You can slice those apples up real thin, put them on a little pastry, okay? Pop those puppies in the oven, and then you watch a cozy show, watch a cozy movie, okay? Well, that's the holy trinity of vibes that I just explained to you, okay? Pumpkin patch experience, right? You go to a pumpkin patch. This is especially if we have birthdays in the late autumn. It's a pumpkin patch bookish date, but it's spooky themed, okay? So you're putting boundaries around it, because if there's one thing that I need in my life, it is boundaries, especially around books. If somebody told me, all right, you're getting an all expenses paid visit to the bookstore, oh, well, now I can't feel my arms. That's too many. I need to give myself some structure here. I can't just go in there. But if you offer the theme, right, of we're going to go to the pumpkin patch and then we're going to go get a spooky book. We're going to read it together, or whatever, however you want to digest that material together. Caveat is, if you know that Cozy Girl has a book that she already wants, well, then that's neither here nor there. But if she just likes going to a bookstore, if she likes that huge serotonin pump that nothing can give her, okay, I would offer, right, a little spooky caveat of let's get a horror genre, or a cozy horror, or whatever, cozy murder mystery. So then you can have your little pumpkin carving date, or whatever you want to do with your pumpkins, or pumpkin painting date. And then you sit on the couch with candles and you read the horror book. Hello, you're welcome. The last one is a plant shop date. Okay, if she's a gardener girl, obviously in late autumn, you might, if she's a major gardener girl, She's probably just going to be getting seeds for the most part. There's not just a ton, depending on where you're at, of course. I'm on the East Coast, so I'm thinking like fall is here and the growing season is coming to a close. Close. No TH in that. It's coming to a close. But if she's a plant person, taking her to a plant store, all right, complete with coffee. You're going to a coffee shop first. You're amping up on the fuel. You're taking that little iced coffee in with you, but you're going to hold it for her while she's going around shopping, okay? If there's any fellas that are listening to me right now, I can hear your thank you. I can hear your thank you, okay? I can't tell you, this is actually one of my favorite parts of being on social media is what I'm about to tell you. The amount of sweet, sweet guys that message me asking for book recommendations for their girlfriend, and they will sneakily go to her bookshelf or pay attention to what she's reading for quite a few months, ask her some questions because they're trying to get her like a smut book or a fantasy book or a book basket. It's the sweetest, cutest thing. I am so delighted. Love is alive. Love is alive. That in my DMs are the sweetest guys. And they're always extremely apologetic. They're like, I'm sure you get a bunch of creepy DMs. I'm trying to get a book for my girlfriend, but I don't know what to get her and I don't know where to start. Or like a bookish present or what have you. Because sometimes cozy girls can be difficult to purchase things for. Because it's like, I don't want to get you just socks and a blanket. I would like to get you something meaningful, but what would that mean? Okay, so again, back to the plant shop coffee date. Take her to a plant shop. you know, they're so fun. But if you want to step it up, right, depending on what the hobby levels are, you purchase before this, right? Because again, adding some boundaries around here, adding some guidelines so it doesn't feel like open season. You buy 3 or 4 like terracotta planters of different sizes. You paint them together. Okay, so you get the plants, you bring them home, and then you paint the planters for the plants. Don't forget to get extra soil. You're going to need extra soil. Upping the date even more is if you stop into a thrift store really quickly and you find a vintage watering can. Okay? Oh my gosh. These are sounding like dates I need to take myself on. So, all in all, I would like to say you're welcome. Again, I can hear your thank yous for a Cozy Girls gift guide to autumn. I do realize that I just told you what you might want for your birthday or how you might want to go on a date with a cozy girl. So take it all with a grain of salt because maybe I just like these. But I'd like to think that I collected some good data. Okay, I asked around. I did some research. And all in all, it's classic and cozy and pretty simple. Speaking of classic and cozy, can we take a moment to talk about the butter mom aesthetic? Because lately, it's been all over my feed, and people have been telling me, oh my God, you're a butter mom. What are you talking about right now? What are you talking? You mean I thrift everything because I can't afford not to? Is that butter mom? And it just goes to say that if you just stick to your own style and you just stick to your own vibe, eventually it's going to become a named trend. I promise you. If you're a 90s girl who fell out of fashion for 20 years and had to suffer through the silver neon lights of the Y2K era, you're going to come back around. They're coming back around to us. They always are. And there are just some looks, Kathleen Kelly Core, for example, anything Nora Ephron, I always refer to this person, I am sorry. But anything in that era, people are just going to come back to it. It goes in cycles. And that I'm never updated on trends. I only get updated on trends when suddenly I'm getting messages about, oh my gosh, because cottagecore came into huge popularity in 2020 because everybody was like baking bread and we were really depressed and dying and everything. And cottagecore came into be and everybody was saying that I dress cottagecore. Again, I thrift things and I've always liked Lord of the Rings. I'm not trying to be trending because I don't know anything. That was at the time where all I thought about TikTok was that people were doing dumb dances. I hate TikTok dances. I really do. I hate them. I was never a TikTok dance girl. I really wasn't. I tried to be, I never posted them. I tried to like it, and then I just thought to myself, no, because I had this heyday. I had this when they had dance alongs for High School Musical. Do you guys remember that? I still remember the choreography for Wildcats Everywhere. Throw your hands up in the air. You're getting all the good music. All right. I sang the Twilight theme song. Ha 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 ha. You know what kills me? You know what kills me is when people don't get that. When they've never seen Twilight, you do ha 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 to them and they've never seen it. Oh, okay. So our friendship is dead. That's great. I'm a killer, Bella. I don't even like the Twilight series, but they do have vibes. I don't know what to say, and they make me laugh so hard. And I would be lying to you, and you would be lying to yourself, that if you watched that movie when it came out and you didn't want to kick your leg up really high when you threw a baseball the next time, okay? When Alice was kicking her leg up like a ballerina, I was like, oh my God, I'm about to do that. I'm about to do that. And you better believe I did. Oh, I was obsessed. I was obsessed with her. I wanted to get a little pixie cut. I would have looked like an eraser so quickly. I would have. I would have gotten kicked out of Pixie Hollow really quick. Also, if you don't get that, I'm sorry. So, anyhow, back to the butter mom aesthetic. I don't know what's going on with it. I've just been seeing a lot of like long natural hair, wood tones, cooking for kids out of boxes. I feel like it's very normal. It's like very normal motherhood with a hint of like thrifting. We don't watch a lot of TV. Is that what butter mom aesthetic is? Is that why everybody's telling me that I am one and I don't know anything about it? It feels like it. I don't know. I don't know what it feels like, but I like butter. I like butter yellow. I really do. I painted my kitchen butter yellow and then everybody got mad at it until all of a sudden it became trending. Hello, just do what you want to do. Just do what you want to do. Stop plucking your eyebrows and just do what you want to do. Now on to this week in children's literature. So this is a new segment I have added because I am a huge, huge reader of children's lit because I have a kiddo and we have been reading 4 to 5 books every evening for his entire life. He's 6 now. We have read genuinely thousands and thousands and thousands of books. All of the time, we're always reading books. And I love children's literature. I think it's some of the best literature that you can get your hands on. And how delightful is it that it exists? That really important stories are being told through the medium of a reader reading to a child. I just think it's great. So this week in children's literature, we got 14 books in the library this last time, and 2 stood out. One of them is Random Acts of Cakeness by Vicky Marmaras, illustrated by Isabel Duffy. And this follows the story of a very kind child named Aaron, and he bakes for his friends. It's so precious, great colors, makes you hungry. If your kiddo is anything like mine, it scratches the same itch as Ratatouille does. You know, when you just want some food illustrations that are really good, this is in that arena. Highly recommend. Also, it's as sweet as can be. It really is. It's about kindness and coming together and expressing kindness in different ways and understanding how other people receive kindness. I love it. I love it. The second is Small Things Mended by Casey W. Robinson, illustrated by Nancy Whitesides. And this is a story about community. We have our main character who is able to mend small things, but it's a story about mending not only things, but hearts and what that does to the community around you and inside of you. Precious. Again, and it, just like the Random Acts of Cakeness, it has that sort of narrative hook that I think is really successful with children, like cake, obviously. What better way to be able to begin to understand life but through cake? And my kiddo is always really responsive to that. And when I've read to other children, which I sort of do a lot, that's a huge thing, is having a hook that is approachable to them. And for Small Things Mended, we're mending like broken toys, or we're mending small animals, and it feels a la like a really gentle version of that one extremely satisfying scene in Toy Story 2 where he's getting his boot painted over, and like it's a little bit, it is one of those scenes that has stuck with me because of how satisfying it is. Ooh, there's just some scenes that are so satisfying. Like the pizza in the Goofy movie. You know what I'm talking about? Max's pizza that's just like dripping and it has the perfectly sized pepperonis. And you're like, can we just keep going back to the scene over and over and over again? This book, while not that exact vibe, has those illustrations and has that essence of something small, something approachable, something a little bit tedious that, again, I think is a really great hook for kids to latch onto because it is something that they themselves enjoy to do, especially if your kiddo likes to build things or take them apart or put them together or has a proclivity for tiny objects. This is a really sweet book. Oh my gosh, precious, really gentle. That is our updates for children's literature, which of course we're going to have weekly. I love it. I love it. I am so excited. I have a bunch of autumnal middle grade reads coming up for myself, and I'm saving those for when it's properly spooky outside. So next week when it drops down into the 70s, I'll be beginning those because middle grade are some of my favorite things to read in the autumn because it gives me Halloween Town vibes. Oh, Now we're going into the news that doesn't matter, meaning everything that has to do with me, okay? So let's start with what I'm reading, all right? And I am reading right now Enchantra by Kaylee Smith. This is the second book in the Wicked Games series. I read Phantasma. I loved Phantasma. I thought it was such a fun read and had the vibes. The main character was great. The love story was fun, but it is an atmospheric book, and I really, really enjoyed that. For those of you who like Slewfoot by Brahm, which is an excellent autumnal read, it's probably my number one atmospheric book rec for autumn. Slewfoot by Brahm. Also, he does his own illustrations. I'm a huge Brahm fan. And if you like spooky reads, I would highly recommend Brahm and then Thistlefoot by Jenna Rose Nethercott. Back to Enchantra. So this follows the sister who we meet in Phantasma. And again, if you like it, it's autumnal, it's fun, but there's the element of competition. But I think the competition trope, which is a huge trope, I think right now in fantasy, it sort of always has been. I just feel like I'm seeing a lot of it lately, of the plot is the competition. This is actually fun. Half the time with some of the competitions, I'm like, I really feel like some of these games have not been thought through. All we thought was, let's have a competition here. But this one is great. I really liked it. And one of the things that makes a good romantasy for me, or a fantasy that features romance, is if the romance was taken away, would I still enjoy the plot? And I would still enjoy this plot. It's very fun. It's very engaging. Obviously, the romance is a huge chunk of it, but even without it, I really like the world that it takes place in, and Enchantress so far has been really, really lovely. I am nearing the end of Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Mandana. I didn't think that anything would hold a candle to the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. I still think it's one of the best, coziest romances that we have right now. I know it's a cozy fantasy, but it takes place in the modern world, so I don't loop it in with like Can't Spell Treason Without Tea or Legends and Lattes and such. It feels like its own thing in my brain. A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping is the coziest, sweetest read. It's even cozier than the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches to me. This is obviously to me, and I love it. Highly recommend if you're looking for a very sweet, gentle. We've got a magical historical librarian and a woman who's searching for her magic in an inn that she runs, and like apple blossom tea rains out of the ceiling. Hello, stop it right now. I've also finished Behooved by M. Stevenson, and I thought that was such a fun book. It really is. It follows Bianca of the House of Liliana, okay, and her betrothed Eric, and they get up to all sorts of fun things, but it really feels very classic, very Princess Bride-esque, but with a flair. And it has celiac representation, okay? Celiac representation. You can read it in the author's note because I was reading the book. It's not a spoiler. We know that she has a stomach ailment from the beginning. And as soon as she starts talking about her stomach ailment, I was like, does this queen have a gluten allergy? Straight up, am I reading a fantasy book that features a gluten allergy right now? I'm losing my mind. Okay? I am absolutely out the wazoo, because you know what I think a lot of times is that I would die in a fantasy realm so quickly. I could never be a female main character in a fantasy world. Okay? I could kind of only live now because they only ever take apples, bread, and cheese. I can't even have lembas bread in Lord of the Rings. I would be absolutely just losing my brain. I'd have to be digging holes every which way and just filling them up. Sorry, I really would be. And so to have that represented in a book, I don't know. It was something special. It really was, because it is hard out here for celiac girlies. It is. And I've never, ever seen it in a novel. Not that I'm necessarily searching for it. I'm not out here being like, oh, I really wish me as a white blonde woman with green eyes. I really feel underrepresented in novels. Like, no. But it is nice to see celiacs in there. I'm like, wow. Well, that was really special. Now, if you just add a few more on there, like, what if you had celiacs and also like me, like dairy and stuff, like, what are they eating on the road? Okay, what are they eating on the road? I guess as a writer, I could probably write that in, but that feels like it might be difficult to do. And, I don't need to put a character through what I go through every day. I don't need to be doing that. So anyhow, those are my books so far. I highly recommend all of them. Okay? They are all very fun. I am still reading the book with the title Redacted. It's a blech. It's like a 1-star for me right now. We'll see how the end goes. Again, it's a very popular series, so things could look up, but I don't know. What I'm listening to this week, I have just found this very cozy, it's like a podcast and an audiobook. For me, it's free on Spotify. I don't know if it's free I have Spotify Premium, but I don't know what the deal is. Nothing Much Happens, which are like cozy bedtime stories or cozy wake up stories. I've been listening to it. I just started listening to it yesterday. So when I say I've been listening to it, I mean like the 3 times I've turned it on. I listened to it this morning when I woke up at 4:45 in the morning because I'm an insane person. I really am. I started listening to that, and it's so gentle and it's so low impact, and it is about, the like watching the sunrise on a winter morning, or opening the bakery, or closing up a coffee shop. These moments of closure, these moments of opening, and the narrator's just really calm, and there was something so satisfying about listening to it when it was still dark outside. Highly recommend. The second thing I've been listening to this week is Tyler Childers. Why did nobody tell me that Tyler Childers looks like that? I had no idea. I grew up in Kentucky, okay? My family are all from Arkansas, and the other half is from Eastern Kentucky, deep in the Appalachia. Deep, okay? I used to have a Southern accent. My native accent is what I'm doing to you right now, okay? And I do mean that. I neutralized it when I went into graduate school, and it is still this way today. But I came from bluegrass, and so I'm really up in arms about modern country. I'm like, it ain't country, it's just pop. If I don't hear a banjo, if I don't hear no fiddle in there, okay, I'm not doing this. I do not like modern country. So I've not listened to Tyler Childers because I know that he's popular. And so I just assumed that it's another modern country. And then I saw a video of someone dressed like a middle school history teacher singing a Tyler Childers song. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, this person's doing a really good impersonation of Tyler Childers, because there's no way that's what he looks like. That's what he looks like? That's what sign me up. Put that man in a book. I have a crush. on this man who looks like a middle school teacher who's singing like that. Oh my gosh. Tyler Childers and Sierra Farrell have my heart now. I've been listening to the Triune God song. I don't need the laws of man. Oh, I'm sad. I'm absolutely set for this man. I really am. His little sweaters. Are you kidding me right now? Okay. Okay, fine. Which brings me into what I'm writing. That's right. Tyler Childers is directly related to what I'm writing. So other than editing, I have 3 novels in the fire right now. 3 irons in the fire. The first is my romance novel, which I've been writing, which is about the 2 Shakespeare professors vying for the same tenure track position. It's an academic rival situation, okay, with competition elements. After I just was like, we've seen competition in a lot of books lately. I'm also writing a queer Wild West romantasy about an outlaw dragon rider and a frazzled children's book librarian. And when I heard Tyler Childers, I was like, exactly, no, Tyler Childers and Sierra Farrell are the voices of the score, the music score in my mind for this book. So I've been listening to them nonstop as I have been drafting this. Also, I just scored a manuscript buddy with, this is kind of crazy. One of my favorite authors, she and I connected on social media when she was still indie publishing, and I'm obsessed with her books, okay? And we're going to do, we're doing a chapter swap for our manuscripts, and I'm trying to stay chill about it. I'm trying to stay chill. I'm trying to deep breathe through my nose and out through my mouth. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be like, no, let's do it. But in my brain, in my tiny mouse brain, all of the squeaks are happening all at once. All of the mice in my brain are like ripping out files out of the cabinet a la SpongeBob, and everyone's on fire because, oh my God, are you kidding me right now? Cool. No. Yeah. We can totally manuscript exchange and edits. Yeah. I would love to do that. I'm only freaking out a little bit. I also am working on book 2 of my cozy fantasy I don't know how it's going to be marketed, honestly. I wrote it as a cozy fantasy, but there's a lot of spice in it. And I don't know if so maybe it's going to be like a new fantasy romance with a heavy on the cozy element, but there's a lot of forking in it. There's a lot of queer forking in my book. That announcements will come soon. And I'm working on book 2 of that. So, normal stuff, 3 irons in the fire, no big deal, which brings me to writing retreat. I have a writing retreat coming up. I have lots of books to write. I hope you have lots of things to write or things that you want to write. You're invited to my Cozy Fantasy Writing Retreat, which is happening in New York in the autumn, September 18th through the 21st or 22nd. The dates. You can click on the link in my show notes. There are a few spots left. It's all inclusive. We have our own chef. Oh my gosh. And it's absolutely beautiful. It's a farm just outside of Manhattan. So I'm going to take a train there, and then I'm going to take a train from Manhattan or take a bus from Manhattan to this little farm. And I don't know, do you want to live your best Jo March life with me? Hey, question. Would you like to live your best Jo March life with me? You know what I mean? And I really love writing retreats because writing is an extremely solitary experience. And sometimes, especially, I don't think it matters what genre you're writing. Just going into a new space with people who do the stuff that you do is really special and unique. And it's going to happen in the autumn over my birthday weekend. So circling back to an experience, if you want to get your cozy girl, you can, I guess, pay for her to go on this writing retreat with me. That's not part of the Cozy Girls Gift Guide to Autumn. No, it's not. But I've got my writing retreat. I'm also dropping links. I have 2 book clubs. I have my All Things Romance book club with Alstora, which it's a book subscription platform. Every book that you buy there, or the book that shows up at your door, a book is bought for a member, a youth of the LGBTQ plus community. I can never say that right, and I am queer myself. But no one has ever stumbled over their words more when I'm trying to say LGBTQ. I cannot do it. I can't do it. I'm so bad at it. When I was trying to film the announcement for that, I had to do that take of every book that you get, like a queer youth gets a book as well. over and over and over and over again. I genuinely think it had to be 8 times. But I have my All Things Romance book club. Our first read is coming up in August. We are reading Problematic Summer Romance by Allie Hazelwood. Hello, the queen of chaos, the queen of neurodivergent spiciness. I've chosen our September and October book recommendations as well. And again, that is a book subscription platform. So when you sign up, you're going to get the book sent to your door, the physical copy of it. So we'll all be filling our shelves together. I also have the Cozy Chaos Club over on Fable. And that is a precious community, 16 or 17,000 strong. And that one is not a book subscription platform. You can buy the book in-app if you want to like highlight together and read. But that one's a little bit more open. You can get it from your library. You can get it on audiobook. And we just sort of are in the chat rooms together. So if that's how you would like to engage, we've got that as well. Lots of book clubs all of the time. I also have my Shop My Link. I'm a show notes panderer right now. My God. But I wanted you to have the information. I'll have the Shop My Link that has some cozy situations in there, and also the headphones, the earbuds, which again, I bought with my own mulala, and I love them. I love them. So I think that's going to do it for today. Oh, wait, really quickly, is that in my next Substack, which is going to release, well, soon, the Tuesday before I'm going to release this on Thursday, and I think my Substack post is going out on Tuesday, but I'm going to release the first few pages of my romance novel because it's not been purchased yet. It's out in the ether. It's just a document. It's just a Word doc, and I'm posting the first few pages of my 2 Shakespeare professors vying for the same tenure track on my Substack. So you can subscribe to that, and then you can, read all my other content if you want to. That's only if you want to. Anyhow, anyway, that's going to do it today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay cozy, stay bookish. Bye.